So this is the first surrogate Andrew opinion interjection where he wanted you all to know about the Wayne's World product placement scene. Have you heard of this?
No.
I've never seen Wayne's World.
It's a movie with it's like a minute straight of obvious product placements
as
that
a joke, right? Yeah,
as a joke, but also probably
But they got
could have
paid.
also paid for the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of large brands, remember like a week or two ago, this might have been 2 weeks ago, that I asked the question, how did they make an F1 movie with a whole bunch of real company names all plastered over the cars and the helmets and the jerseys and stuff?
Yeah.
And we got the answer, which is Apple. They produced this movie. They sold sponsorships of these actual companies who paid to be in the movie and have their logos on the car, on the helmet, on the suits.
This is so smart.
So they made millions of dollars of just branding
Yeah.
to have realistic jerseys and helmets and cars, but also to help pay for the movie.
Just
This
like
is
real
very
F1.
smart.
Smart.
I think it was the first like Avengers movie or something, but they just had like a long shot of a billboard that just said Coca-Cola. And they had like a truck that was driving by and it was like following it the whole time. It was just like Coca-Cola. I think this makes more sense because you would see these brands in the real world on these cars anyway. So it makes a lot of sense to just like, let's swap them to have people pay us.
Isn't this a thing normally just in movies regularly?
Yeah.
Like you can pay for product placement. You're
Product
like,
placement.
oh, this Pepsi
Exactly.
can over here, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How much more do you think they charge to be on this versus just like a passing car? To
I
be
have
like
an
on
answer
the
for you.
helmet?
I have an answer for you. The article says they made $40 million from all of the brand placements that are specifically involved with the F1 teams in the movie.
And the movie costs about 200 to 300 million. So they literally made back like,
yeah, good amount.
like a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Wow.
So this is the first surrogate Andrew opinion interjection where he wanted you all to know about the Wayne's World product placement scene. Have you heard of this?
No.
I've never seen Wayne's World.
It's a
I've seen
movie
it
with
a long time ago.
it's like a minute straight of obvious product placements
as
that
a joke, right? Yeah.
as a joke, but also probably
But they got
could have
paid.
also paid for the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you
Good
know
stuff.
the inverse of this from a movie? I'm trying to remember if it's in a movie called Repo Man or a movie called Repo Men. I think it's Repo Man.
it's Repo Man.
I think it's Repo Man.
I think
So. I think you're
David
right.
Lynch, right?
Yeah. Right. Now you're making. Okay, it is David Lynch, right? I don't know what's real anymore.
I only
Who
said
directed
that because
Repo
I
Man?
saw it on
There's a
your
movie called
screen.
Repo Man that is from at some point in the 20th century. That's a long time ago. But they did not want to go through the hassle of doing product placement deals. And so every product in the movie is plain white packaging with black all caps text that just says whatever product it is. So if a character cracks a beer, it is a white
Beer.
can that in black bold text just says beer.
Is that not how Severance is shot as well?
Severance is a slightly different flavor where the art department had to make every object from scratch.
Yeah.
So that there are no like time dating objects. in
Yeah.
the movie.
Exactly. But there are no brand labels, period, in that movie.
Except for Lumen.
This is like except for Lumen. But this is a little bit more like
Wow, spoiler alert.
goofy. Like, for example, there's a scene where a character goes into his fridge and pulls out what looks like a can of beans and just starts like eating it straight from the
Just has
can.
beans on it.
It just says food.
Is that like tongue in cheek on purpose?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Got it.
It's a goofy movie. It's not the
It's-
goofy movie.
I was gonna say.
Is it an
Hey,
extremely
is it the
goofy
goofy
movie?
No,
movie
it's just
too?
a regular goofy movie.
Yeah.
Is it?
You know what's funny? This is a video. I don't know how long ago I saw this video, but about how YouTube videos have to disclose product placement,
Yes.
especially when you're paid for anything.
Yeah.
Movies don't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is why we had to find out via an article that Expensify, Geico, Tommy Hilfiger, all these companies were in. How is that still true? Or why is that such a big difference? It's two totally different governing bodies. It's one's the internet, one's movies.
I think about that all the time. And
Yeah.
I,
That's Gemini.
as much as I'm a butthurt content creator on the internet who's like, me, why do I have to go through all these hoops? I do understand that no one is watching this movie. No one's watching Brad Pitt in this movie. I really hope it's actually Brad Pitt.
It is Brad Pitt.
I
It's
get
Brad
him and Matt Damon mixed up all
It's Brad
the time.
Pitt.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
fair.
it.
No one's watching Brad Pitt in this movie and thinking like, wow, Brad Pitt is a real race car driver who really, really likes Expensify, right? Whereas like
Okay.
when people watch us, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that we're super duper passionate about every ad read we've ever done, but it is us
Right.
telling you
directly.
directly to buy something.
True.
And it so there should be you shouldn't be able to see me go and like, damn, Ellis really loves Skittles. Like every video he's putting them back, man. When in actuality, like I actually don't like Skittles that much in real life. But I would anyway. This is going way off.
No,
the rails.
that's a valid point. I just feel like I could blur that line a good amount. Like if there was a movie, if there was a superhero that everybody loved in a movie that's obviously not real, but it's a superhero, and the superhero always drives a certain type of car. Like maybe say, like let's just make up a name, James Bond or something like that. And he always drives. He always drives the same type of car.
Always wears the same
And
kind
I
of
just
watch.
feel like that would be, while it isn't a
Sony
personal endorsement, it still has the same just level of like inspiring people to purchase the
Do you
product.
want to hear Gemini's
Yeah, but that's like a
answer?
partnership more so, isn't it?
Sure, but it's just in that example of like,
Yeah.
they don't have to disclose that that's paid for. If a company paid to be the product that the superhero likes in the movie, they don't have to disclose that.
It's even though I don't think Aston actually pays for that. I think it's like so baked into the brand.
Oh, I just made that one up. I made up a company
Made up James
and
Bond.
a movie. But go on, go on.
This is a random name.
Yeah, I just made like Bond. That's
My buddy
not real.
James.
Yeah.
My bond.
Anyway,
my buddy.
But no one. Oh, wow, that was so funny. I totally lost my train of thought.
Do you want to hear Gemini's answer for
I
why
do,
this is
I
the
do.
case? Okay, so apparently, people are supposed to have an understanding that things in movies are fictional,
And
so when a
and paid for.
and paid for. So
Yeah.
it's saying like that when a character in a movie is like using a product, it's like that character is not that person. So you are not being like, oh, I trust this person. Whereas the reason on YouTube is that because it is a real person saying a real thing, and it's not assumed to be like a fictional character.
But what if I had like a comedy skit?
Yeah, I mean, it gets dicey.
and also, how come Apple's allowed to sue if the bad guy uses an iPhone if it's implicitly fictional?
I don't know if they can actually do that. However, I do have a thing I wanted to mention about that specifically because my friend Caleb he's a VFX supervisor on movies, so he like goes and he like helps them frame the shots so it's easier to do the supervision stuff.
Nice.
And he says that specifically they do worry about Apple getting mad at them, so they always make sure to like they have to like perfectly mask the UI and like make sure that it's a little different.
The
if they wanna-
logos, especially.
yeah. Whereas with Android phones, they don't worry about it at all. And I asked why. I was like, is that a legal thing? And he's like, I don't think so, but we just are more careful with it because Apple's more scary.
It has to be a legal thing. Like, what else could they be scared of? You're a movie producer. You have no relationship with Apple. You show Apple in a movie, and Apple gets mad at you. That just is code for a lawsuit, I think.
I don't know. I think Apple is such a big company that's involved in so many different industries. That Apple in China book, a lot of that book is companies doing things just because they're scared. Like
Yeah.
no reason other than like Apple could bankrupt us and literally not think twice about it. And so even if we're not like legally exposed, like there's no point in trying to go.
This is what he
against that.
exactly said. He said the iPhone has to behave like an iPhone would in reality, so no skins of any different brand or anything. Everything has to be exactly accurate. And I said, is that something that Apple mandates somehow? And he said, yes. I've had to do so many shows that we had to recreate graphics for iPhones to the T. And I said, how do they even have the right to force that? And he said, well, it mostly has to do with legal departments for many different companies covering their bases. I've never had to stick to stock Android for any phone because they just don't care.
Sounds
So
right.
it sounds like Apple cares and no one else cares. That sounds like what it is.
I could
I bet you
see
Google
that.
could sue if they wanted to, but they're just like, why?
You misrepresented the Pixel. Meanwhile, they're just like,
Meanwhile, like,
they
oh,
use the
they put
Pixel.
the Pixel
They
on
use
the
the
end,
Pixel.
there it is.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably all fair.
Yeah.
Well, now we know how the brands got into the F1 movie.
crazy.
I mentioned before the show, I think I'm going to see this movie.
Yeah.
I'll probably
Crazy.
watch it on a plane or something.
Now everyone knows what Expensify is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they? I didn't watch the movie, so I don't know. If they,
I don't know what
talk
they do.
Adam
about
and
it.
I used
But I heard of it.
Expensify at Android Authority. We used it.
Oh,
What does it
so,
do?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be
Careful, you might endorse it.
I know that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I think there's like 1,000 different apps that do this now, so they're probably not that special. But
Yeah.
it was pretty innovative at the time.
It was like business expenses and stuff.
Basically,
you
you
know.
take a photo of a receipt from like a business expense, and it would automatically like parse it.
There's an article here that says Expensify capitalizes on F1 movie sponsorship to boost user growth and expand international product features.
Is that written at Expensify?
No, it's a Tribune article. It's a real article. I'll put it in the Slack. It's really happening.
Also related to F1 before we get off the topic.
Whoa, David with an F1 update?
Yeah.
No, sorry. Not related to F1, related to the movie.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, like I would give. Anyway, so we talked about the vibration. I talked about this off the podcast too, but I just want to say this on the record so people can scream at me on the record. The vibrational trailer that everyone was super hyped about. Just go buy a Sony Xperia XE2.
Actually, it's XZ2, David.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was going to make the joke, but it's actually 6 years ago that phone came out.
I thought it was longer, to be honest.
Yeah, so the
It was
6 years ago
curved in a
jokes.
way where it slipped off of everything, and then when it would vibrate, it would just
Slide
vibrate off the
around.
table. Yeah.
The most obvious consideration for
Yeah.
a phone that vibrates.
It was not the greatest shape.
I mean,
That's
Xperia
funny.
phones, that sounds about right.
And we were talking about this before, I just think it's funny because at the time when that came out, it has this giant vibration motor that can, I guess, like parse the waveform of any audio source, and then it sort of vibrates to that. And everyone was like, all right, including me. And then this comes out and everyone's like, wow, a vibrating trailer.
Yeah, there was just certain.
Come on.
So there was a couple phones that did that. I think. I don't know if HTC Boom Sound did this, but there was like an LG phone that would also like have the phone vibrate to whatever the bass frequency was. And so
Yeah.
if your song had like a bass line, your phone would.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
We used to live in
An
God's
age of
country where every phone that would come out would have some really bad gimmick, and I loved that.
I mean, to be fair, this Apple trailer was also still a gimmick.
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
So
yeah,
But iPhone users, it's been a while since they've seen a gimmick like that.
that's
so
true.
They were really into
That's a
it.
good point.
Hey,
yeah.
Image Playground ain't that old.
Touche. Fair enough.
Is it really a gimmick if not a single person has ever used it?
Isn't that what makes it a gimmick?
I haven't even tested. Well, maybe I've tested it. I've opened it, I guess.
Yeah.
It mainly shows up in YouTube videos, and then once in a while, people use it as a joke. I think.
All right, thanks for watching this clip. Hope you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Andrew is not here today. So the person who guesses where he is in the comments and makes the best and funniest guess, I'll have a dream about you tonight.
That was going so well.
Thanks
that?
for watching.
Way over
Subscribe.
there on the that's the rails. We're way off the rails.
Subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.